This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so Mahesh, this is our second class. So I will show you how to install and how to create these folders, all this. Okay,
Okay.
so let me open this folder, weekday underscore batch we created for this particular batch. Okay, morning batch. I just done one mapping, one-to-one mapping. Okay, how to extract the data from source, from relational, and how to load into another table. So what I'm doing as part of this course, I'm considering this COT schema as a source schema, which is our OLTP, and considering this target schema as a data warehouse, means our OLAP. So I'm extracting the data from Scott and loading into target schema by using Informatica. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll start. Any doubts, Harshit, Arun, Vinod, Yogesh from last class?
No, Shiva.
No.
Okay. So tell me what is source qualifier transformation?
It will convert database data type into the Informatica original data types, native data types.
Okay. So I'll do one more mapping. Go to the mapping, create m underscore source qualifier. Okay. Example. Drag the source. This is our source EMP table. Okay. Drag the target EMP underscore TGT. So whenever we drag a source into our mapping designer, along with our source definition, we are getting a source qualifier transformation. So this is the first transformation we are learning in Informatica. Now just link the columns from source qualifier to the target. Okay, in Informatica for columns we call as a ports. Remember, okay. In Informatica for columns we call as a ports. P-O-R-T-S. Ports. Ports means columns. Okay, in Informatica. Ports. P-O-R-T-S. Okay. Now just save this one. Say mapping is valid. Okay, mapping is valid. Now come to the workflow. See in which folder you have created a mapping. Okay, weekday underscore batch. In the same folder you need to create a workflow. You need to create a workflow in the same folder. Now how to create a workflow? Go to the workflow, create. Workflow name starts with WF underscore, mapping name starts with M underscore. Okay, now tell me what is the next step? What is the next step? Harshit.
We have to connect this one with the source table.
So stable. Okay, take the session. Click on the session task. Okay, click in the workflow designer. So we'll get list of mappings which is created under this designer. Yes or no? So how many mappings we created under this designer? 2 mappings. Last class one mapping and today one mapping, correct? So which is our mapping? SQ underscore example source qualifier. Select that mapping. Now what is the next step? Go to the task, link task, start to session. Save it. Control S. The workflow is valid. Now next, what is the next step? What is the next step? You got the recorded session, right? Last class recorded session. Okay. Double click on the session. Go to the mapping tab. Click on the source. We need to give connections, right? See, it's a relational reader. We are reading from the relational. Okay. Click on the connection variable. So which is the connection variable for source? Scott. Click OK. Apply. Now come to the target. Relational writer, we are we are writing the data into relational, which is our target table. Okay, just click on the connection, which is target. Click OK. Target load type. Okay, in the interview they will ask what are the target load types in Informatica. So there are two types. One is normal and bulk. This difference I will tell you later. Okay, select normal. See, for every workflow in Informatica, we are selecting target load type as a normal only. Difference I will tell you later, don't worry, but select normal only for all the workflows. I will tell you when we are going for bulk load. Okay, next check this option. So what this option will do means truncate target table option. So before data loading to the target table, okay, it will delete the data from the target. It will truncate the target table. Before data loading to the target, whatever records are there in your target table emp underscore target, it will delete and it will load the fresh data. Apply, click OK, save it. See, workflow is valid. Understood? Any doubts?
Sorry to interruption. Like let's say that option, if you do not select, let's say truncate and insert, in that case it will override to the already existing data.
It will not override. It will
Whatever.
insert new records. It will not override. It will
Yeah, I
insert
mean
new records.
it will add.
Yeah. For example,
Okay.
which is our target table, emp underscore target, right? So just
Okay.
check whether data is there or not. Select star form emp underscore target. So we have already 14 records. Okay. So what will
Okay.
happen if you don't check that option? Again, 14 records will insert into target. If there is no consent in the target table, it will insert. If there is a consent in the target table, it will fail. You'll get a unique consent violated. You got my
Okay.
point, right?
That error where we do see in the Informatica.
Monitor. Yeah, in the
Somewhere we
Informatica
see
only.
that error.
Here only, in the Informatica only, we have one more client tool called Monitor. I will show you that one now. Okay, I will truncate it as
Uh-huh.
of now. Okay, I will
Okay.
show you
Okay.
now.
That's
Just
fine.
click OK, save it. See, now run the workflow. Run the workflow. Now one more client tool will open. See, these are the client tools of Informatica: repository manager, designer, workflow manager, workflow monitor. So this repository manager will be used by admin. Developers will not be using this repository manager. Okay, so designer, workflow manager, monitor. In the designer, 70 to 80% development will be done in designer only. Okay, and in 20% work done in workflow manager. In the monitor, we're not doing anything, we're just checking the logs. See in which folder we created a workflow, weekday underscore batch. Now come to the monitor. Just open this folder. Okay, just click on this workflow. This we call as a workflow, and this is our session. It is succeeded. Okay, what is the start time? What is the completion time? Right click on the session. Okay, get run properties. Now just tell me how many records reading and how many records loading. 14 records reading from the source, 14 records loading to the target. Now come to the database. This is our target. Check the data. We have 14 only because previous records got truncated. Okay, now we have 14 records here. I will do one thing. Just double click on the session, go to the mapping tab, click on the target. I will uncheck this property. Apply, click OK, save it. It is again, see whatever changes you are doing inside this workflow or designer, you have to save. Okay, save that one, then right click start workflow. Okay, now come to the monitor. See, second time this workflow is running now. Again, 14 records reading from the source, 14 records loading to the target. Now you can see in the target table, you will have 28 records. Why it is 28 means, why it is inserted duplicate data means because there is no consent on the target table. Okay, now just double click on EMP number. See, these are duplicate data only. There is no consent on the target table, but in real time, this is not the case. Remember everyone, okay? In real time, what will happen? Every target table will have a consent, primary key, unique consent in data warehouse. Understanding? See, now right click on this table, go to the pop-up describe, go to the consent. You can see there is no consent here. If there is a consent, okay, I will do one thing. I'll just truncate the data. Okay, now there is no data in this table. So I will just add on consent. How to add a consent? I want to add on consent, primary key consent. How to add a consent? Any idea? Vinod, Harshit, Arun. Alter table, table name,
Add constraint,
add constraint,
constraint name, constraint
constraint
name.
name. Okay.
Okay.
Then what type of
And
constraint you are creating? Primary key. On which column? I want to create an EMP number. Run it. Okay. Now just see here, there is a constraint. Okay. Now run the workflow. Okay. First time it will insert 14 records. Okay. Now check the data in the target table. You'll get a 14 records. Okay. Second time, run the workflow. Go to the monitor. See, it is succeeding. Okay. The workflow status, it is showing succeeded. Okay. But records are not inserted. 0, 0. All 14 records got rejected. All 14 records got rejected. Now right click on the session, get session log. Expand this log file. Just come down. You can see error message unique constraint violated. Can you see this error message? This is the first error message in SQL, right? Oracle. Yes or no? See here 0001 unique constraint violated. Understood? Any doubts?
Yeah, yeah.
See, actually in real time also this workflow will not succeed. It will fail. For that we need to check on option. There is a concept called error handling. Okay. I will teach you that error handling later. In real time, see it is succeeding right here. But in real time it will not succeed this workflow. Because see in the session log we have a error, correct? When you expand this session log, just type E. See there is an error in the session log, but your workflow is showing succeeded, which is wrong, right? See, this is not your code fault. This is not your mapping fault. This is not your workflow fault. This is a data issue. You understand? This is a duplicate data is coming from the source. So for this data issue also, we can handle it in Informatica. So in real time, it will fail. I will show you that. There is a concept called error handling later. Understood, right? Okay, let me drop this constraint because we need to run multiple times, right? I'll just drop this constraint. Alter table, table name. Okay. Drop constraint, constraint name. Till now understood? Till now understood? Any doubts? Vinod, Harshit?
Sure, just one clarification. The mapping which we have done between source and target,
Yeah.
there is list of columns are there. Do we
Yeah.
map, let's say, EMP number column to someone the same data type of another column also? Here?
Correct.
Let's say,
Okay. So this EMP number column, see it is not mandatory to have the same column names in the source and target.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, see this EMP number is a decimal data type. So drag this EMP number and you can link to DPT number column. Data will load into
Okay.
this column.
Just
Because
we
the
need to
data
drag
type should
and drop
match.
here.
Yeah, drag
Okay.
and drop it here. The data type should match.
Okay.
Okay, data type should match. If you are linking this ename string column to number or like date to another column, it will not load. Same as your SQL only. When you
Yeah.
create a table in the
Yeah. Correct.
database, you need to insert it. Same thing. So I will tell you this first class to you once again. You'll understand.
Okay.
Okay. So next is, now I told right in the first class, remember when you import the source and target table, data will not come. I told yes or no. When you import the source table, data will not
Yeah.
come. I told right. Only structure will come. Okay. Now, so when data is reading from the source, which is very important. Okay. Now when you run the workflow, see when you say right click and start workflow, see in Informatica we have two services. One is repository service. Okay. Second one is integration service. See these two services again I will show you okay how to create. In real time you are not creating these two services. Let me go to start all programs Informatica server administrator homepage. See in real time you are not creating these services, remember. These services will be created by admin. Okay, these services will be created by admin in real time. You are not creating these services. Just log in this by using administrator and administrator. This is the admin console link. Okay, even this link you will not have access in real time. So when you log in this administrator homepage, okay, can you see these two services here? One is a repository service. Repository service. Second one is a integration service. So in your laptop, while installing a Informatica, I will show you how to create these two services. In real time, okay, you are not creating these two services. Admin will create. So what is the use of this repository service? What is the use of integration service means? See, normal database, when you are working as a database developer or SQL developer, whatever database objects you are creating, like tables, views, constants, procedure, function, that will be storing in one schema, right? That will be storing somewhere, yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
That will be storing somewhere.
Yes.
Same thing in Informatica also. Okay. Now you created on mapping. Okay. You created on mapping one workflow. It has to store somewhere, right? Some database, correct? So that database we call as a repository. That is the repository. Data about data, metadata. It stores the metadata information. Now the second service is integration service. This integration service is the responsible for reading the data from the source and loading into the target. What is the use of integration service in Informatica means? It will read the data from the source and loads into the target table. Now come to the workflow. Double click on the session, go to the mapping, click on the source. Now see here, can you see EMP here? See which is the first thing here in our mapping? In our mapping, the first thing is source definition. Second thing is source qualifier. Third one is target definition, correct? Now in the session, okay, which one you are seeing in the source? SQ underscore EMP, right? Yes or no? SQ underscore EMP, right? You're not seeing this EMP, source definition, correct? In the sources folder.
Yes. It's source qualifier, right?
Yes, it's a source qualifier. So in that you are seeing a target definition here, target there, which is fine. But when you create a session, okay, inside this session, so what will happen? How when data is reading means, see when you say right click and start workflow, the integration service. See, go to workflow, edit. This is the integration service which is created in the administrator homepage. So this integration service will read the data from source qualifier transformation, not from the source definition. Why? Why it is reading the
In the
data from
native
source qualifier? Yeah,
source
tell me, Anuj.
qualifier is the native data type of Informatica.
Correct. So what will happen whenever you drag any source definition, whenever you drag, see not only table, file also, I will tell you the file example later. When you drag the file into your mapping designer, along with your source table, you are getting source qualifier transformation. So what is the main use of source qualifier transformation is, it will convert the source data types into Informatica native data types. So now see here in the source in the Oracle for EMP number, it's a number data type. It's a varchar data type. But in source qualifier, you can see decimal string. So these are the Informatica data types. So when you run the workflow, the integration service will understand the Informatica data types, not the source data types. Because Informatica supports heterogeneous sources. It may be files, or it may be table, it may be SQL Server table, or it may be XML file, correct? So the source qualifier transformation is the first transformation in the Informatica. So when you run the workflow, integration service will read the data from source qualifier and it will create an SQL query. See, right click on the session, go to the properties. Okay, so this session log. Okay, go to the session log. You can see here in this session log, repository name, service name, folder name, workflow name, mapping name, all the information you can see. When it is started, okay, how many records reading, everything you can see here. Now just run it, okay. When you run this one, the integration service will generate a one SQL query in the session log. You can search that one. Just find for select, enter. Can you see one SQL query here? Can you see one
Yeah.
SQL query? Okay, just copy this SQL query and go to the source schema. Execute this one. Copy this SQL query. Go to the SQL this source schema and execute. Now tell me how many records are populating from this query. 14 records. See, select all the column from EMP. So 14 records coming. So these 14 records from source qualifier, it is going to the target. Understood now? So when you run the workflow, execution starts from source qualifier. Integration service will pick the data from source qualifier. See, as of now, we are not using any transformation. I will tell you the transformations. Okay, we'll use, see, all the transformation in Informatica, whatever transformation you are learning as part of this course, right? Around 15 transformation, like filter, expression, all this transformation you are using in between source qualifier and target definition. You cannot use any transformation before source qualifier or not after target definition. Understood? Clear till now? Clear till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next. Now what I will do, I will remove these three links. I'll just link, okay, from EMP number, ename, job, manager, hide it. I'll link only these 5 ports. Now save it. Come to the work. See, whatever changes you've done in the mapping, come to the workflow, right click on the session, refresh mapping, save it. Now run the workflow. Go to the monitor. You can see 14 records reading and 14 records loading. But come to the database, check the data in the target table. So tell me how many columns are populated? How many columns are having the data? Oh, we'll
15,
do one
6.
thing. I will just truncate the previous data, run the workflow again. Again 14. Now check the data in the target. Can you see here? Only 5 columns are populated. What about these 3 columns? It is coming null. Why it is coming null?
So we have
Because we
captured
didn't
only
link this.
those.
Removed from the
Yes, because we didn't link these ports, correct? We didn't link the salary, commission, department number column in the target. So it is coming null. It is populating null. Okay, now I will link it. So remember, in real time, okay, this is a real time scenario. For example, in your, okay, in your requirement, your source table may have like 30 columns or 40 columns. See, all the columns are not required in the target. Whichever columns are required from source to target, just drag only those columns. If we drag the all the columns, see, now go to the monitor and check the log, what query it is generated. Okay, what query it is generating. Just check the log here. Just search for select, copy this SQL query and come to the source schema. Now tell me the difference between this query and previous query. There is no commission. There is no 3 columns right here. Salary, commission, department number. So remember, whichever columns are required from source to target, drag only those columns from source qualifier, because the SQL query will not be generated for other columns. Okay, it will increase your performance. This is again one of the performance technique. Okay, I will discuss that performance topics later, but remember this point also. Now link this salary to here, save it. Now just double click on the source qualifier. Now you understood what is source qualifier transformation. Double click on the source qualifier, go to the ports. Ports means columns, and these are the data types. I means input port, O means output port. Now come to the properties. Source qualifier properties are very important. I'll give you 2 minutes of time. Please note down all these properties. We'll discuss one by one. Please note down all these properties on the paper. Anyway, I'm going to share the notes, but you just note down. We'll discuss one by one properties. SQL query, user defined join, source filter, number of sorted ports, tracing level, select distinct, pre-SQL, post-SQL. Output is deterministic, output is repeatable. Written. Okay, the first property is SQL query. So what is this SQL query means? Okay, just open. Okay, just click on this value, generate SQL. Can you see the SQL query here? The same query which is generating in the session log. Can you see the SQL query which is generating in the session log? Same query.
Okay.
See here, first property is SQL query. Just click this SQL query, generate SQL. So the same query which you are seeing in the session log, right? So now in the what is this SQL query property means? You can write your own query. You can okay, customize this query. See, generate SQL by default, this is the query is going to execute in the session log. Okay, now you can append this query. Append means you can add very close, order by, group by, joins, anything. Whatever you want, you can write here. This is like your SQL developer. But whatever you are writing, that should be executable in the source schema. So you cannot write like select star from table, which table does not exist in the source schema means it will fail. So now what I will do, I will just add on where clause here. So you can append this query where you can give any condition where department number is equal to 10. Click OK. Now apply, click OK, save it. Come to the workflow, right click on the session, refresh mapping, save it. Now run the workflow. Now tell me how many records will read. I'll show you the data in the source. See, this is my source data. So for department number 10, how many records are there?
Records.
14.
Three records are
No,
there.
only
Three
department number
records.
10. 3 records are there, right?
Yes, three records are there.
Yes, department number 10, 3 record, department number 5, 25 records, department number 30, 6 records. So now in this source qualifier, okay, we are given this condition where department number is equal to 10. Now see the monitor. Now see here how many records reading and how many records are loading. Only 3 records reading from the source, 3 records loading to the target. That means only department number 10 records are loading to the target. You can see 17 because the previous 14 records were there, right? Previous 14. See, these are the previous 14 records, correct? Now this is the latest 3 records which is loaded now. Understood? So what I will do, I will just check this option, truncate option. So you'll get the clear picture how many records are loaded in each run. Apply, click OK, run it. Now double click on the source qualifier, go to the properties. See, not only this where clause, you can use order by also. Okay, I will just use order by salary. Just click OK, save it. Now come to the workflow, right click, refresh and run it. Now go to the monitor. This time it will read all 14 records because it's the order by, right? Number of records will not change. Okay, now come to the database and check the records. You can see 14 records which is sorted by salary column. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yeah.
So this SQL query, okay, SQL query property is a you can okay use any like way clause, group by, having, joins, whatever you want you can use. But only thing is, whatever you are using here, that statement should run in the source schema. Simple. You can use joins also. Okay, this is the first property. Not only one, see, not only one filter, you can use multiple filter, like where, okay, salary greater than 2000. Okay, then after that you can use and one more department number is 10, anything. Like your SQL editor only you assume. This is like your SQL editor. You can write anything. If you don't write anything, generate SQL by default, it will pick all the record from the source, all the columns. This is the first property. So what is this SQL query property means? You can write your own custom query. You can append the SQL query which is already generating. Okay, you can use whatever you want, like where clause. See, sometimes in real time what will happen when you are reading the data from relational table and you want to load customer information into your data warehouse. You don't want to load all the data. You want to filter only some of the account numbers. Then in that case you can use here generate SQL and use the where clause. Okay, where account number column, assume there is a account number column in your source, account number in, and mention whatever account numbers you want here. So only those data will be loaded into target, like filtering the records from the source level. Okay, now the second property is user defined join. So the user defined join is nothing but by using this property, you can combine the data from, see, tell me as of now, how many sources are there here?
Only
How many
one.
Only
sources?
one source.
Only one source is there, which is EMP. Now, you know joins, right? Everyone in SQL,
Yes.
everyone joins, no, right? Arun,
Yes, yes.
okay, tell me what are the types of joins?
Inner join.
Outer join, inner join, self
Inner
join,
join, inner join.
natural
Okay,
join,
okay. Left outer join, right outer
non-equi
join.
join,
Okay, right outer
full
join.
full outer join,
Okay, full, and we have a Cartesian and self join, whatever it may be, right? Okay.
self join,
Now,
natural
okay,
join. Yeah.
okay. I will ask you one question now. I have two tables here. Okay, I have one table, table 1, and another table, table 2. Here also one column, here also one column. Okay, I have data like this. I have data like this. Okay, I have data like this. Now tell me what is the output for inner join. Okay, left outer join, right outer join. I just want the count of records. Tell me.
Inner join 3.
1 minute. I will ask one by one. So inner join 3. Harshita, answer, or Arun?
Both.
Okay, okay. Next. Left outer join.
4.
Okay,
Left outer join 3.
okay. 3, 4. Okay, next.
Right outer join 4.
4. 4.
Okay, next. Full.
Full 4.
Okay, Vinod, your answer. Yogesh.
These are SQL
Vinod,
concepts, right? I'm
yeah,
not.
okay. You just attended SQL batch, right? You just started SQL batch, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Don't
Yes, yes.
worry. This joint Chetan sir will take the class. Don't worry. See, there is only one property as of now. See, there is a joiner transformation which will come like almost like 1 week. Okay, almost 10
Okay.
days. So there is one property called user defined join. See, I can discuss now also or later also, but I will just discuss now. But for you, I will repeat it once again. Don't worry. It's a join. You should not join since that is enough. Okay. Now you're telling 3, 4. Okay, 4, 4. Okay. Is this correct? What is inner join? Tell me. First of all, what is inner join? Matching record from both the table, right?
Yes.
Harshit, Yogesh, and
Yes,
Arun.
sir.
Matching record from both the table, right? Okay.
Yes.
Now, okay. Let me explain. This one from the first record is matching with how many records?
3 records.
3 records. Okay. Again, this one from the source is matching with how many records?
3 records.
Okay. So this one is matching with how many records?
Again, the same 3 records.
So inner join count is 9. Okay.
It's like a
Matching record.
Cartesian join.
It's not a Cartesian join. Okay. Let me tell you one more. Here, assume you have one more record called 2. Assume you have one more record called 2 here. Okay. It's not a Cartesian join. Cartesian join means if we have a different value here, okay, then you can say 1 into here Cartesian. It is not a Cartesian because, okay, now come to this emp underscore department only. I will explain here. How many records are there in my emp table? Tell me how many columns and rows in my emp table.
14 columns and 8 rows.
You're telling reverse. 8 columns and 14 rows. Okay.
8 columns and 14 rows.
8 columns and 14 records. Now I have one more table called select star from department. Okay. Tell me how many columns and how many records? 3 columns and 4 records,
3
correct?
columns, 4 records. Yes.
Now, you know primary key foreign key relationship, right? Okay. Now, if I write this query, select star from EMPE, okay, inner join DPTD, okay, on which is the common column? What is the common column?
Department
DPT
number.
number.
Department number.
Okay. E dot department number is equal to D dot department number.
Department
Okay,
number.
run it. Now, what is the count? How many records are coming? 14,
records.
right? So, what is happening here? Okay, let me run this query. Both. Now, from this department table, this 10, okay, from the department table's first record, which is 10, is matching with how many records in the EMP?
3 records.
3 records, correct? Now,
Yes.
come to this department. Department 20 is matching with how many records? 5 records.
5 records.
So 3 plus 5, 8. Okay, and this 30 from department is matching with how many records? 6 records.
6 records.
So 5 plus, okay, 5 plus 3 plus 6, 14 records. And this 40 is not coming here, right? See, 40 is not coming in the output because this 40 is not present in the employee. Inner join means what? Matching record from both the table, correct? Can you see any department number 40 here? No.
No.
So same concept here also. This one is matching with here. Okay, one is matching with 3 records. Again, this one is matching with 3 records. This one is matching. See, this is interview question. Even though you go for PL SQL developer or Informatica developer, okay, they want to test you on joins, right? This question they'll ask 100%. If you answer this one properly, then they assume like you know joins concept. Okay, even you go for PL SQL or Informatica. This is like one question on joins, this is the question. Okay, so don't get confused. This one is matching with all 3. Okay, so inner join is 9. Okay, if you remove this one, or if you want, you can add it. Now left outer join is nothing but what? Inner join. What is left outer join? Inner join plus non-matching record
non-matching from the left side.
Correct. So how many records are non-matching? This 2 is not matching with any of the record, right? So on inner join output is 9. 9 plus 1 is how much? 10. Right outer join is nothing but inner join output plus non-matching from right table. So inner join output is 9. 9 plus this null. So it will be 10. Full means inner join plus non-matching from left, non-matching from right. So 9 plus 1 plus 1, 11. So what you need to do, create this table in your SQL developer today and write all the 4 joins. You'll get the idea. Create the simple, okay, anyway, you'll be getting this recording session, right? You can create this table 1 with one column, table 2 with one column, and insert 3 records, insert here 4 records and run it. You can check the queries. You'll get it. Understood?
Yes, no, so just one correction. But in Informatica, is there any these kind of joins are available, or only any one kind of
No,
type
we
of
have
joins in
join. We have a
Informatica?
separate transformation called joiner. Okay,
Okay,
here also we have a 4 types. We don't have
okay,
self join in Informatica, self join Cartesian. We have a inner join, left outer, right outer, full.
okay, okay.
That will come under joiner. Transformation itself is there. Okay, that will cover it later. So as of now, this property user defined join is nothing but what this property will do. It will combine the data. Okay, from multiple tables. See, in real time, there is a requirement. You want to fetch the data from 2-3 tables and loads into single target table. In that case, you need to join, right? You need to join the data and load it, correct? So what? Okay, now I will import one more source, which is our DPT. Go to sources, import from database. Just give the connection here, enter, expand it. I will import this department source also. Save it. Now see how many sources are there in your sources folder, EMP and DPT. Now create a new mapping. Go to mapping, create m underscore user defined join. Drag the EMP source, sorry, not here. Drag the EMP source, drag the department source. Okay, now two sources are there. Okay, now I will write one query and tell me what it will do. I'll write one query, tell me what it will do. What this statement will do?
It, it will see test the structure of both department as well as employee table.
So what I'm doing here, what it will do?
Yeah, employee table full columns, and in the department only dname and location will be copied.
Correct.
Structure only copies, not the data.
Yes. So if this table is already there, let me drop it. Drop table emp underscore. Okay. Now what this statement will do means it will create a new table. The table name is emp underscore dept. Okay. E dot star means all the column from employee, means 8 columns. Okay. See, from the department, I don't want all the columns. I want dname and location because DPT number is already present in employee, right? So I don't want to take the DPT number column from here. So Vinod understood this statement? Vinod?
Yeah, I'm following. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm doing here, I'm just creating one new table, all the column from employee plus dname and location. Okay. Now if you, and where false condition, any false condition means I don't want the data. I'm just creating one empty table. Now check the table here, select star from emp underscore dpt. So what will happen? It will create an empty table with 10 columns. See, if you want department's DPT number also, you can add one column here, alter table emp underscore dpt, add d underscore dpt number. You cannot add with dpt number which is already there. Okay, and give the data type. Now you can see you will get 8 column from employee, 3 column from department. Okay, I will import this table into Informatica. How to import target table? Go to target designer, go to targets, import from database, give the connections here, just expand emp underscore dpt. Click OK. Control S, save it. So that whatever you are importing by using target designer, that will come under targets folder. Now come to the mapping. Drag this target table here. Till here understood? Any doubts? Harshit, following?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, how many source qualifiers are there in our mapping?
Two. Two.
2. So to
Two.
create a simple mapping, we should have minimum one source qualifier. Now, see in one source qualifier, okay, now go to the properties, open this user defined join property. Tell me how many sources are there in this source qualifier. How many sources are there for this source qualifier? Only one, right? For this source qualifier, only one source, right? Correct?
Yes.
See, for one source, you cannot join anything, correct? See, there is only one source here. Go to user define join property. You can see only one source, which is EMP. You cannot, there is no self join concept in Informatica. So now what you need to do, delete one source qualifier. Say I'm deleting this source qualifier. Now link the ports from department to the employee source qualifier. I'm just linking the department source columns to employee source qualifier. See, this DPT1 is coming, DPT number 1 is coming because in one transformation there should not be same name for two ports. Now double click on this source qualifier, go to the properties, user define join property. Now see how many sources you can see. Two sources, right?
Correct.
Two sources, right? Expand this DPT, double click on this department number is equal to expand this EMP, double click on DPT number. So there is a common column, department number from employee is equal to department number from DPT. Click OK. Now apply, click OK. Now you link from source qualifier to the target. See the ports and link it as it is. This DPT1 to D underscore DPT. Save it. Mapping is valid or invalid?
Valid.
Now come to the workflow. Copy this mapping name. Come to the workflow. Go to workflow. Create WF underscore this one. What is the next step now?
Create session.
Yes. Click OK. What is the next step now? Link from start to session. Save it. What is the next step now?
Save it and run this.
Before saving and running, double click on the session. Go to the mapping. See now how many source qualifiers you can see? Only one. Click on this source. Okay. Give the connection. This is for Scott. Click on the target. This is for target. Target load type normal always. And if you want, you can target. Right. As of now, there is no data in the target, but still check this option. If you are running one more time, it will delete the data. Click OK. Save it. Now run the workflow. Tell me how many records will read and load. How many records will read and how many records will load? See which condition we are
17
given here.
records.
Sorry.
17 records.
Why 17, Yogesh? See, equal to means what? Inner join, right?
Yes.
See, I written this query right here in the Scott schema. What is the output? Okay. Same thing only I will write it. Don't get confused. Okay. Select star form EMPE, comma DPTD. Okay. Where this condition. Now, how many records it is reading? Tell me. 14, right? Matching
Yes.
record from both, matching record, right? So same thing, it will read 14 records and it will load 14 records. Can you see? 14 records reading, 14 records loading. You can see the data in the target table. Select star form EMP underscore DPT. You'll get 14 records. Understood? Understood? Any doubts? Understood? Any doubts?
Yeah, understood. Sure.
Okay, by using this user defined join property, you can come see not only two sources, you can combine multiple sources, not only two. You can link 3 source to one source qualifier, 4 source, or whatever source you want to combine, you can combine. But only one condition is, by using this source, okay, user defined join property of source qualifier, okay, whatever sources you are linking here, right, all the sources should have from the same schema. All the sources should come from the same schema. What is meant by same schema? See, this EMP is coming from Scott. Even this sources should come also from Scott. Understood? Assume one source is a file, the another source is a table. You cannot perform user defined join property. Assume there are two sources. One is coming from one database, one is coming from Oracle, another is coming from SQL Server. You cannot perform this property. I assume both are flat files. You cannot perform this property. For that we have a joiner, that I will tell you later. Okay, so why we cannot see, assume this department is coming from another schema like HR schema, this is coming from Scott schema. Why we cannot by using this property? Tell me, guess it. Why we cannot perform here? Assume this is coming from Scott schema, this is coming from another schema which is for example HR. Tell me why we cannot perform? Any idea? Any idea?
Since source qualifier could not see from where it has to fetch the data, right?
In source
Or where
qualifier,
from the source qualifier do not find like from where it has to fetch the data, because one is in one schema, one source is in one schema and another source is in different schema.
okay.
Maybe there is some glitches.
Okay, so see here we have only one source qualifier. Okay, so now assume this is coming from Scott schema, this is coming from some other schema which is HR or whatever. Now in the session, double click on the session, go to the properties. How many source qualifiers you are seeing here? Only one, right? Only one, right? So for one source qualifier we can give only one connection variable, yes or no? You cannot give two connection variable. That is the reason by using this property, user defined join property, okay, you can combine only the sources, okay, which are coming from the same schema. If it is from different schema, then we have a joiner transformation. That will cover it later. Understood? Second property, user defined join property. Understood? Any doubts? You can perform here left outer, right outer also. That we'll see it later. Okay, in the next class you can perform left outer, right outer also here. Understood till now?
Yes.
Okay, so the remaining properties we'll discuss in the next class. So please, today